Deshaun Watson will be, I assume, in Cleveland because they begin OTAs this week, John.
They do. And it's going to be very interesting to see, all that is going on with Deshaun Watson, because none of it's going to be settled before the season starts. And there have been some conversations about what the penalty, we've had those conversations here. What should the penalty be? And you know what, right now there's really no telling, because there's going to be an HBO documentary, or I don't know if you call it a documentary, a show about Deshaun Watson.
Oh, it's going to be on Real Sports.
Yes. So I guess it's just a news outlet.
Brian Gumbel will sit there and pretend that he's actually writing something down.
Right. The blank piece of paper.
Yeah.
But they're going to have some of the women that have accused Deshaun Watson doing interviews. I don't think Deshaun Watson is a part of this at all. He will not be speaking, and obviously, is it Rusty Hardin? Is his attorney is feeling like this is going to be another PR campaign by the defendants to smear Deshaun Watson, public opinion, all of those different things without having his side of the story told. And my question is, because the NFL their relationship with the public, PR, is so important to their brand, how much will his suspension, or should his suspension, be based on the effect that public relations will have with, the NFL and the public? And is that appropriate?
Well, I think it will a little bit because, yes, because the public relations aspect of it also has to do with the business aspect of it. If they believe that their product will be, compromised, whether it's people protesting in front of stadiums, things like that, then, that has to be taken into consideration.
The court of public opinion.
Yes, a little bit. And I'm not saying that should be the most important thing is, did he do it or not?
Right, because, obviously that's the most important. Did he, assault these women? And if that's the case, the penalty is completely different than,
correct,
if he's just accused of it. Because we're trying to figure out what that suspension would be or when it would be.
Right.
And without a conviction criminally, and nothing settled civilly, you still have an individual who's been accused of doing this 22 times. And he has already, the court of public opinion, I don't think it played well when he was, the trade I don't think had any effect, but it was the record contract that he received. Now the court of public opinion is definitely not in the favor of Deshaun Watson or in the favor of the Cleveland Browns.
And the other thing is the way they structured the contract.
It's very curious.
Is not good for public opinion.
No, because he's got a $1 million base salary this year. So if he's suspended for any length of time, he'll be out whatever prorated version of that $1 million. However, if it were to go into 2023, the $43 million base salary would be a much different number if it's a 6-game suspension, 8-game suspension in 23 as opposed to 22.
Yeah. 248-539-9797. If you're a fan, do you sit there and wonder, oh, well, you know what? He should get this, he should get that. I don't know whether he did it or didn't. And public opinion, I think, matters in this case, not.
Or what is the reason why you think it shouldn't matter? Because the NFL and their relationship, selling tickets, selling memorabilia, selling the image of the NFL, which is not always a great image, but, some people do like the bad boy image.
Correct.
This is I'm not saying this is a bad boy image.
No.
But how much should it affect the suspension for Deshaun Watson? And if this were to happen to an employee at any other business that is not is not in the public eye, how would it be handled differently?
Well, I think it would be handled differently I think the person would be terminated already. If I don't know, not necessarily our job, but a job that's not in the public.
Yeah.
If an employee is accused of 22 assaults,
Yeah.
I would think that they would, terminate the person.
Accused, even if they're not convicted?
Yeah.
What if they're wrongly accused?
Well, then they can be sued and or maybe they just hire them back if they are bad, or they get sued for maybe, it depends what their code of conduct is.
Right.
I mean,
and I think
they might say, you know what? Even if this whole thing never happened, there's certain things in there. You admitted to making this woman cry. Now, why you did, I have no idea. What led her to tears?
Yeah.
But it's still not good for our company.
Is it something you said, or is it something you did?
Right.
That's going to be the big question, and I think the defense. Or I'm sorry, the defendant. The women will continue to put on this PR campaign, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Until there is some sort of settlement, and Deshaun Watson is partly to blame for it continuing to go on because he has said all along, "I'm not settling. I refuse to settle." And I think that was their reaction to, well, if we just say, hey, if we say we settle, then it's an admission of guilt.
Well, that's right. And that's in his best interest, I think, to do what he did as far as not settle. I mean,
what do you think he should do now?
Just wait and let it all play out. That's what I think he should do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he should, I'm not going to go play football. He should go where there's the opportunity, got traded, and, he should play as long as they let him to play. If they don't allow him to play, that's a different story. But he should be in Cleveland for OTAs.
Yeah.
And after OTAs, he's going to the Bahamas with some of his players, work out and all that stuff. Absolutely. He, I think, should just treat it normally because there's nothing he can do about it until it goes to civil, unless the civil courts go.
Does the NFL end up putting him on the commissioner's exempt list?
I think they will. I really do. But it's just a guess on my part. Because I think they're starting their investigation.
Yeah.
They have their person who's going to make the arbitration hearing, the decision, and they're going to go with that, unless they appeal. But the arbiter has been paid for by both. I mean, it's somebody who, both sides have agreed on.
Yeah. By the NFL and the NFLPA.
Right. Now, whether Deshaun Watson will agree with that, that's up to him. But as far as this, they're going to determine the penalty, too. With the league. Supposedly, Goodell won't have a say in what the suspension is. Supposedly.
Well, he won't have a say in what the suspension is, but then he is the one that the appeal goes to.
True.
So, in the end, I mean, for appearances, everything has changed. The process has changed.
Right.
But the decision ultimately will come down to Roger Goodell.
Right. Suppose they decide, all right, we're going to suspend him 8 games. I would not anticipate it being an appeal.
I think he'll probably, unless there's a deal made, hey, we're thinking of suspending you 12 games, and they, somehow make a deal that says, well, we'll put an end to this if you say, 8 games. And then there's no appeal if there's a deal made behind closed doors. If there's no deal made behind closed doors, then just like you said right now, he just goes about his business. He would have to appeal.
Right.
I mean, you're just not going to take a penalty and say, well, I'm not going to appeal.
True. Well, it depends they have to decide if he can play during the appeal, or does he get put on the exempt list during the appeal?
And then serves the suspension after that. I mean, there's a chance. And do you think he plays any games this year?
Yeah. I think he'll play half the season.
I don't know.
Unless one of these cases goes to a court by then. But I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think it will either.
No.
It's not going to be until after the season.
Right. I'm telling you, what I would do if I was Goodell, if he has the power, I'd say you play this year, and then we're gonna, under the different contract terms that we lay out, you have to be able to you play this year, and then next year we can suspend you because that's when it's going to cost you some money.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything that they would possibly do to the Cleveland Browns for giving him this new contract, knowing that these are all pending?
No, because they knew it was all pending. So they can give him the contract they want.